Hello right bags, it's Jade. Welcome to a Valheim speculation / news video today as we go over the Game Awards. If you don't know, Valheim are up for Best Multiplayer Game as they fully deserve, and they're also up for Best Debut Indie Game. And some of the team from irongate have actually gone over to LA to, I guess, appear in the show and maybe accept that award if they win. And I am kind of hoping we're going to get some sort of reveal, maybe of the Caves update. Now, I called it the Caves, technically it's not. They're actually caverns or maybe dungeons that we're going to be exploring in the mountain regions. And we know that this update is going to be hitting before the Mistlands update. I was kind of hoping it will hit before Christmas. So we're going to go over a little bit about that, everything I do know about it, and how it may tie into the Cult of the Wolf. So, enough waffle, let's crack on. Grim, the Viking artist guy at Valheim, has been tweeting his adventures as they journey from snowy Hulsberg apparently, all the way to Nightlife City, LA. That's where the Game Awards are at, and that's where you can find Valheim as one of the games nominated. It's on pretty late in the UK, like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to stay up and I'm going to stream it. So if you want to go and watch and see Valheim wins and see me talk rubbish about all the games that we're going to be seeing, then absolutely do come and join me and a few buddies of mine as we watch together. And I guess the big question is Valheim going to win? It's up against a couple of really good games, I would say. It Takes Two apparently is a fantastic co-op experience, and we all know that MMOs like New World are always going to be popular, but they're still a bit niche, and I would say compared to some of the other games, Valheim's absolutely got a fantastic chance of winning. I think it could actually potentially win. For sure, it's better than Back 4 Blood, and God knows how that dodgeball ripoff managed to get in there or sneak in there either. And yeah, I would say it's better than Monster Hunter Rise as a multiplayer experience where you're having fun with your friends. Shizzle goes down, it's just a laugh a minute every time a tree lands on someone's head. And it's pretty challenging, it's something that bonds you in Valheim, going to get your loot back after dying halfway across the map because someone forgot to bring the right ingredients for a portal, and having a sing-song across your journeys through the waterways. The only negative I guess it's got against it is it's not a fully finished game, and the Game Awards rarely actually recognise early access games, so it's kudos for Valheim to even be in this stage. And any haters want to try say something, go and check out the Steam reviews lately for Valheim. Do you know now it's like the 3rd best rated survival game of all time? Only Terraria and maybe The Forest beat it. Like it, love it, hate it, think it's just a bit meh. Valheim is an absolute phenomenon, and I think they really do deserve to win. So yeah, I think It Takes Two might be the only one that really will give them a bit of competition. And then yep, it's going to have a chance of maybe winning the Best Debut Indie Game as well. Now this one's pretty tough, I'm not going to lie. I think The Forgotten City was pretty great, it was amazing apparently according to all the reviewers, but it's kind of slipped under the radar. Kena Bridge of Spirits, I was ready to cover that this year, but it just totally flew by me because I was so busy with Valheim and other stuff. Sable was good, but maybe just a little bit too empty, and I ain't gonna lie, The Artful Escape, never heard of it. So I think Valheim could have a chance of winning that as well, I really do. But yeah, it's pretty tough, I reckon this category is more tougher, believe it or not. So as I said, we'll find out tomorrow. It will be beginning at 8 PM Eastern, 5 PM PT time, and like I said, that's probably like 1 o'clock in the UK. And any Aussies out there, you can start putting the shrimp on the barbie, as that's gonna be just around lunchtime for you. And in pretty much, maybe a bit too late before anyone comments, oh, they should be working on their game before going out to these award shows. Actually, only a few of them gone. Pretty much the communications team, the 2 community managers, Lisa, as well as Monty. And I do believe Christopher, one of the other Valheim devs, has gone along with Grim. And that leaves the core team that do the engineering, the programming, and the quality testing and assurance. They're all still hard at work on hopefully the Caves. So we know for a fact they're designing this to come out before the Mistlands update, and you shouldn't be expecting the Mistlands update until some point way after Christmas, maybe even towards February, maybe even March at this point, I would say, judging by how things are going and how they showed us some early screen test shots. But this stuff looks like it's developed a little bit more. Hopefully it's not going to be too much issues implementing it, and it's going to be going into the mountains. And effectively they are going to be brand new caves or areas to go and explore, much like maybe the Troll Caves. Although it does look like there isn't any transition screen. You'll notice in the forest when you go into a troll cave, you do have a small loading screen, but it doesn't look like that's the case with these. Now these aren't procedurally generated as such, they're not going to be just random different size caves everywhere you go. It does look like they might be a bit more uniformed, and it will be a case of actually going in there with a purpose to clear out some new enemies or get some sort of artifacts or maybe some new resources for weapons and armour. Next question, I guess, is this going to be tied to maybe the Cult of the Wolf? We already know that the old roadmap was kind of ripped up and they're going to be cherry picking stuff they really want to maybe add or can throw in a bit quicker in between the larger updates. We've already seen that we've had the tar pits added, and if you go by what was meant to be coming out on their cancelled roadmap, that wasn't going to be added until much later. And they've done lots of other stuff like improving stuff like the interactions. And I do believe from speaking a little bit or seeing what they've spoke about that the ship's customization is definitely going to be something they'll be working on much later now. And we know that Mistlands was meant to be the 4th update, but now that's going to be pretty much the 2nd update. But I still think there's room to maybe blend a little bit here with the caves, and I think that Cult of the Wolf would probably suit or fit into this. With the mountain biome being somewhat barren in terms of what you go there to do, other than taking on obviously the Wyvern Mother, etc., it's kind of a place that you just don't want to spend too much time in. They've made it a little bit easier now with certain things that you can get foods and stuff from, but it's still just one of them biomes that no one wants to spend too much time in. I wouldn't say it's as hated as the swamp, but it's just not many reasons, because silver isn't as good as some of the other items normally. I also wonder how many of you guys have actually met with the Fenrir, actual wolf enemy. It only comes out at night time and so it gets really cold. How many of you have ventured up there and taken some of them on? So I think, yeah, it's definitely in need of a bit of a revamp, and add in some caves and some new caverns, i.e. dungeons to take care of, with maybe some remnants of the Cult of the Wolf. Maybe it'll be just a few sort of Draugr dressed differently, or it is going to be actual proper cultish creatures or NPC enemies. Let's face it, since they're called Cult of the Wolf, we're not going to find these guys hanging about in the swamp, since the wolves don't really go along them areas, so it's got to be something to do with the mountains. Of course, you should know by now, take this all with a healthy dose of skepticism. It's just me spitballing here, but yeah, that's what I would hope to hopefully see. If it's not, if it's maybe just a bit more of a revamped place that you're going to find certain creatures in the actual mountains, but they'll be inside these areas more, so maybe the Fenrir will be actually living here. It is a bit odd that the Fenrir does kind of just wander around in the dark, so yeah, it might suit the game better to have him actually living in a cave. The entranceways for these look absolutely astounding though, like really impressive, really foreboding and dark. It's going to be so great coming across here. Maybe it will be a place to respite though, not just filled with danger, but actually somewhere where we're going to come and take a little bit of a moment to rest up or get warm. Of course, the big clue that points it to being something to do with the Cult of the Wolf, or maybe somewhere for Fenrirs to actually be or live, is the huge ice statue or statue of a wolf inside the actual cave itself. Now, if you're thinking this sounds like too big, they said it was going to be small and we've got Mistlands is going to be the next big update. All that is still true, but I do think that they probably are going to try and pepper things in, like we saw recently with the root armour and the creature in the swamp that won't be named. Now, I know I've spent the whole video calling them Fenrir, but they are of course called Fenrings technically. But yeah, you get the idea. They're basically big black wolves, werewolves slash. You guys give me your best predictions. So why am I mentioning all this stuff within this video? I think we're going to get some sort of tease. I think that the Game Awards could potentially have something for us. Best case scenario, that as they announce the awards and stuff goes through, we get an update that drops this new mountain dungeons or whatever they are. Worst case scenario, we get a bit of a tease about it coming and it'll be in a new year, or it might happen in a week's time or something like that. And just to be pessimistic, it may not offer too much combat choices. It may just be a cave for us to get warm in at the beginning stages, and they're going to develop it a bit later, but they're chucking it in now just to see how it goes. And yeah, we've got a long way to go before the Mistlands hits. They've only just started really landscaping the area, making sure it's all changed and different how they want it to be. And we know that all the areas will be flat now when you go and find them out in the world since the last recent most updates. I'm hoping to get all the juicy details from Grim, one of the art guys at Valheim, when he returns from LA. He's been documenting, as I've shown you, his Twitter journey, and yeah, hopefully we're going to have a catch up and hopefully see what it was like, and yeah, talk about what else is coming to Valheim in the future. Until then, laters.